Okay, Oda, I see you. One Piece chapter 1081. Color me interested now. Color me very interested. Cause like we had like known that like Aokiji and Akainu they were fighting, but we get more of the information what happened via Akainu versus Aokiji in the form of Aokiji explaining exactly what happened and explaining, why he's walking around with that fake leg right now and that he's constantly having to run ice through it. It's one of those things where I like that. Like Oda left that plot line out there for a while, dropped some breadcrumbs on what actually took place, but this is one of those things where he's continuing to flesh out Akainu. And like Akainu, not Akainu, but Aokiji. And like Aokiji kind of reminds me a little bit of Higuruma from Jujutsu Kaisen. And I'm not going to go into spoilers for that, but the reason why I say that is that Higuruma is such a very interesting and complex character, and there's so much potential with that character. And I feel the same way with Aokiji, even though, again, this is a character that's been around for a very long time, ever since we got to the end of the Foxy arc and everything, and then you had Aokiji show up. He's just been one of those characters where there's never been a dull moment when he's been on screen, and he's also a character that there's just a lot of potential. There's a lot of potential for this character. Like, there's so many different ways that his character arc can go, and even though he's been around for as long as he does, you kind of feel like the more that you see him, the less you know about the character. And that's a good thing, because it means that the writer is continuously evolving the character and doing it in bite-sized ways to where it's very easy to digest. It's one of the things I enjoy about One Piece. Like, the way you can sit down and you can chart the character growth, and you just look arc by arc when these characters show up, you can see the small connective tissue. And for as much as One Piece's world building gets all this praise, and it deservedly so does get the praise, the character writing, I might go as far as to say One Piece has the best character writing out of the titles we haven't shown in Jump. Like, you don't stick around this long unless you're doing something absolutely right. So we open up the chapter itself with Garp continuing with some of the damage, and one of the things we see is like Garp, he had used armament hockey, and Garp was saying like, yeah, I kind of lost my edge. And you have a moment where some of the pirates like, there's no way you could have done even more damage than this. And it's like, yo, he's in his old age. However, this dude was slapboxing with the Rocks Pirates, and some of those Rocks Pirates are Yonko right now. So it's like, I think he could do that kind of damage. Like, I don't think that that's by mistake right there. I don't think that's being overhyped, but it just kind of goes to show that, like, again, appearances can be deceiving, and, it's just human nature. As people get older, they get weaker. And so to see that Garp is still maintaining some strength like this, like, it's like Prime Garp was something nasty right there. And by extension, Prime Roger is something super nasty. And what I like here is like Helmeppo is like, oh my God, I'm glad that they didn't kill Koby. It's kind of funny to see how that relationship went, just given how their relationship started out. So I thought that was nice to see that. And as Koby is trying to get released, we have a moment where it seems like Hibari, it looks like she might be making some progress. She's saying, I can't get the chains off. I'm going to continue to try. And all of a sudden she gets turned into ice. And when Koby turns around, he's stunned, but Garp is the one that realizes right away, like, oh, this is Aokiji. And what I like there is that, like, Garp is like, yo, unfreeze Hibari right now. And this lets us know, like, oh, crap, so we're going to get Garp versus Aokiji. This is going to be a hell of a fight. And, like, given the fact that, like, Aokiji is a former admiral, I remember asking you guys a while back, I was like, like, Garp seems like he's very strong. Is it possible that he's actually stronger than the admirals? He just never took the position because his son's a revolutionary, his grandson is a pirate. You can kind of see how, like, that line is drawn there where he wouldn't have actually gone up further. Well, what I like here is that when Aokiji and Garp are talking, Aokiji basically says, are you really willing to take me down in order to save your protege? And we then go over to the flashback, and we see that, like, Aokiji following that battle, he's just frozen all the Blackbeard pirates. And when Blackbeard is trying to find out what's going on, like, Aokiji says, like, look, my character. Do you really think that I was the one that swung first? However, I will say I'm in a very bad mood right now. That was basically Aokiji putting this man on notice and basically saying, choose your words very carefully. You want to tread very lightly with me right now. And I like as they start sharing drinks, it becomes one of those things where Aokiji says, Akainu, yeah, that guy, absolutely. Like, I might have lost a leg, but I at least scarred him all over his body. He's got some scars, even if you can't see them. And that's where we learn about the remaining 2 poneglyphs. And apparently there's one where they think that it might belong to somebody with a devil fruit. And it might be somebody with the world government that has it, because anybody who tries to get close to it, they get swapped up into a giant vortex. And basically they're saying that they think that this might be the world government trying to keep pirates from getting to the One Piece itself. So you're getting more interest and more vague hints about what the One Piece might be. The world government might actually know what it is. And I like how Aokiji, I like how Aokiji's basically saying, you know, I've never heard anything about the poneglyph, but if I would have saw that on O'Hara, it would have been one of those things I would have remembered. And he starts going down memory lanes. Like, you know, I had a friend who was fighting against the world government. There was a sad little girl with these sad little eyes whose fate was in my hands. Obviously talk about Nico Robin. And what I like is that as this is going on, Blackbeard has one of his men saying like, hey, like his devil fruit would be super overpowered. How about we go ahead and steal this? And Aokiji looks at him and says, you can try that if you want to. And Blackbeard knows, like, I poked the bear. I need to try and rectify the situation. He says, like, look, we can work this out. We can actually have a mutual understanding. Join my crew. You want to be free. You're not with the world government right now. Like, at the end of the day, there are things that you can do working with us that you can't do with others. You got the wrong idea about what pirates are. I can show you. We ain't got to be best friends, but we can coexist. And that transitions us over to Aokiji and Garp going into it. And one of the things that we hear is that Garp is telling Aokiji, the fact that you're hesitating, that's a sign of weakness. And that leads to a moment where Garp just sends this dude flying through the battlefield itself. And we transition over again to the aftermath of Blackbeard versus Law. And it's one of those things where Blackbeard has taken down Law, and he's like, man, you know, I can't make my mind up if whether or not I want to take you on and take your devil fruit, or if I just want to sell it. And one of the things he says is like, can I actually get eternal life if I take this fruit? And I like how like Blackbeard is very selective on the devil fruits he's trying to take. And it kind of makes me wonder, like, what the hell's going on with this dude's body? Because it's like, you're only supposed to be able to get one devil fruit, but it's one of those things where this dude's got multiple. And he doesn't look like he's slowing down. So I thought that this was very interesting that we're continuing to see like Blackbeard's clearly going to continue to level up. However, because Law and his pirates end up getting defeated, you had a Sulong end up showing up to save them. It's one of those things where Law has been taken down, Kid has been taken down. Both of them been taken down by Yonko. It just shows that there are levels, and this is a nice humbling experience for that trio that took on Big Mom and Kaido. So I do want to know from you guys, though, how do you guys feel about Aokiji's reasons for joining Blackbeard? But so always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.